because it's sort of the milieu, the world from which you've come, this matrix society that people just are they've been run over by so many people blurting on their conversation, trying to finish their sentences, trying to say that I know what you need to hear, that people don't even get to actually listen anymore. So what's wrong with some not being able to listen? Well, then your contribution is not going to be heard, and your great ideas to build your company is going to take forever. And so your startup or whatever else you're planning is going to be like what they describe most businesses happen each year is they fail. We're going to actually go through a topic today that's relevant to anybody who's really, really wanting to scale their business, whether your business is something that is small, you alone, in your pajamas every day working from home, or whether you've got a moderate sized business, whether you work for somebody else, or whether you've got a great big company and you really would like to have that scale. So I'm Dr. Barry Morguelan, and I'm speaking to you regarding Energy for Success. And what Energy for Success is a compilation of practices and techniques that I brought back to you from 20 years of working in China that will allow you to actually scale in any part of your life that you really want to focus on in terms of having relationships work and having your business work at the same time. Because so many entrepreneurs, and where Energy for Success is so useful is for entrepreneurs, whether they're at a small level, medium level, or even super large level, who want to scale, they all find that these techniques that are encompassed in Energy for Success and that are given in many of the courses that we've got on the website, and the website, of course, is energyforsuccess.org, is all of these techniques have to do with your being able to really go forward in each of the areas that the energy is so valuable in imbuing you with, putting you in the best possible state you've ever been in, to actually put you in the zone where you're in the home run, the slamming wonderful state of being able to be successful just on command. And what today's about is that you actually are able, using these vibrational techniques that I'm going to go into today, to be able to go forward as an entrepreneur and scale your business in the one area that is essential every day. And that one area that's essential is that you can't do it alone. I know you'd like to do it alone. You'd like to just stay home, get on the computer for 10 minutes, send out a couple emails and have everybody get your stuff, but you can't. It always requires is you need other people. You need people to work with you. You need teams, whether it's one person or whether you need 2 or 3 people with you. And if you're smart, as you scale, you'll be able to get more and more people to work with you. So what are these energy techniques that a source energy is all about? It's going to allow you to actually be successful with people each day, and then have them be your representatives so that you can be even more successful because they're your champions, allowing your business to grow even further just because of their relationship with you. Now, how do you accomplish that? Well, the first thing is that most people find out that when you're talking to other people, they're not listening. They may be smiling. They may be acting like they're listening to you. They may be your employees. They may be a coworker. They may be a friend, but they're not listening. Come on, you know that's true. People actually have thoughts, feelings, and emotions that they're tied up in. And people say, oh, well, you're overwhelmed. Well, the Energy for Success, this entire program, all the different modules that we have for you deal with you not being caught up in the overwhelm of life. But say you would like to communicate to other people, don't you think it would be great if they heard what you said? Wouldn't it be great if you got what they had to say and that you could make some type of agreement that you went forward and you both would actually accomplish it and you'd work together? Well, how do you get that done? Well, first you have to recognize that it's been studied by Lao Tzu from thousands of years ago that people can't hear you. They can't. There's things going on. People are not listening to what you're saying because they've either got some emotional conflict going on, they've got some anxiety about something they're trying to get done, or really they're real motivated about what they want to do, but they're not necessarily wanting to hear your contribution. And yet you're the person who wants to be the entrepreneur that wants to rally everybody together with you and have them want to go forward so that you can lead them and you're going to make a contribution to them because the business is going to do better. They're going to benefit from what you're doing, and you're going to benefit because the whole company is going to grow. So what can you do? Well, one, you have to recognize that if people actually are sitting there in an emotional state, whether it's positive or negative. And they're also having all these thoughts, and you want to make your contribution to them about, hey, I've got this great idea. We need to do this thing together. And you want them to hear you. They're not there to hear you. Now, why not? Because it's sort of the milieu, the world from which you've come, this matrix society that people just are they've been run over by so many people blurting on their conversation, trying to finish their sentences, trying to say that I know what you need to hear, that people don't even get to actually listen anymore. So what's wrong with some not being able to listen? Well, then your contribution is not going to be heard, and your great ideas to build your company is going to take forever. And so your startup or whatever else you're planning is going to be like what they describe most businesses happen each year is they fail. And you don't want to fail, you want to succeed. It's going to take a team. And where you're going to get a team is you're going to actually have people that are going to be working with you and for you. I'm thinking right now of a gentleman who came to work with me as I was consulting with him, and I was showing him one of the techniques I'm going to show you all in a minute. And I said, you really got to hire people that you really can see that they can hear you and you can hear them. And so he found one person who he says, well, I don't know. I've found a number of people and they haven't been successful at all. So I tried to show him this technique that I'm going to show you in just a moment. That is an energy technique that allows you to be present and allow for them to be present also. So what is the situation, though, that you're going to present this technique into? Well, one, the first thing we said, which is, believe it or not, people are running around and they may not be listening to you. And number two, it's been studied that if you go tell them, even with great emotion, hey, you have to listen to me, or I'm angry if you don't do this, or I'm going to use leverage on you, you're going to be in trouble. People don't remember the words of what you want to say, so they're going to mess it up, even though you're trying to obligate them. They're going to remember the emotion, the negativity, the anger, the fierceness, or the cajoling, but they may not remember the exact words. So even if you have a really nice conversation that went on maybe way too long, you're trying to tell the person, I really care about you and I want you to know about all this, they may not have gotten the point of your conversation. They may have just gotten the gush, and maybe that was enough for them, or maybe came out insipid. So with this gentleman, I showed him that, well, you can get past people's emotional turmoil. You can get past people's conflict about their thoughts and what they're doing during the day if you can just recognize that when you're talking to another person, doesn't matter who they are, if you want them on your team and you want them to be an entrepreneurial, powerhouse for you, you've got to recognize that when they listen to you, they don't have to. Even if they're working for you, they don't. They do not have to listen to you. They could be all involved and just say yes, yes, just like children do, and whatever you say, mom, or whatever you say, dad, and just act like they're listening to you, which is what mostly goes on. You can't make someone listen to you, but you can by being in the energy. You can get people to be thrilled to listen to you. Now, how can you do that? How can you get a team to want to champion for you? Well, one, you have to recognize, your humility at recognizing that they, don't have to listen to you, but that they really do want to listen to you if you have a contribution that's going to be win-win. But how do you get them to extend the time to listen to you? You have to recognize that before they're going to listen to you, you actually are coming out the winner if they even start to listen to you. And that's the first step, because they don't have to give you their time. And time for people, your beating heart is one of the most great things you've got, but also your time is something that you can never get back. So if someone spends 10 minutes with you and you don't make a contribution with them, which has happened in many children's lives from people that they've worked with, or their family members, or their teachers, they eventually become a little bit irritated or actually lose trust that you're going to take up my time and I'm not going to learn anything. So why should I even listen to you? So people go around like this or talk to my hand. You're not even getting that the other person's there trying to love you and care about you and give you a contribution. So as I told this gentleman who is a very successful entrepreneur now, and over the years that I've been working with him, he's gone from, making, he and his partner making, a moderate business as entrepreneurs to now, hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're going to go on even higher this year. But he learned this one technique years ago with me that allowed him to recognize that, yes, when I talk to a person I want to hire, or I want to work on a team with someone, I need that person, but I got to have them hear what I want them to say. What I want to give them is a contribution that's going to allow this company to grow, but they don't have to listen to me, even if I'm paying them. So what is it that's going to allow them to listen to me? Is one, I've got to sit there in humility and say, this person's giving me a gift. They're giving me a gift before I say anything of trust that they're actually going to listen to me before they even know what I'm going to say. So if you can go to somebody and say, do you have a minute? can I give you some information about the position that you've got or what I want you to get done? And if that person says, no, I can't, or I'm not interested in, then you shouldn't say anything, because you don't have any time that they're willing to give you. But if they say yes, then you need to be really respectful of that and say, I really appreciate you giving me the time to actually communicate with this. This will take about 2 minutes. And just that, if the person then agrees to spend that 2 minutes with you, you have a tremendous chance, if you're in the energy, and that's where we're going to go into the techniques of being in the energy when you communicate, that person's not going to hear what you have to say, but they're going to champion you if they both agree on it. So I showed this one gentleman a physical exercise to do before he goes into any kind of conversation with any of the people that he's a coworker, or people that he's doing a joint venture with, or people that he's doing, a launch with, or people that he's hiring in other cities to represent him. And I said, look, before you talk to people, don't just say something, because they're not going to hear it anyway. If you're a screamer and you scream at somebody, say, hey, you have to listen to me. Yeah, it's been studied. They're only going to remember the feeling, the thoughts of your scream, but they won't remember the words. They certainly aren't going to follow what you said. So why are you saying it anyway? And there goes the frustration. That's the need for the drink in the afternoon, because you've had such a rough day because no one heard you. But if you can be successful, and I showed him, so what I want you to do is to get in the energy. We have so many practices on the website of energyforsuccess.org. Please go check them out. But I'm going to give you one now where I said, before you go into the space of being with somebody you're going to communicate, either in your car or, in the hall before somebody sees you, you can just put your hands like actually on your shoulders for a second and just relax. You don't have to just right in front of them. But what you want to do is actually learn to take a breath and hold the breath, if you can, for a count of 7. And while you do the count of 7, you actually want to see the upper part of your chest actually stay up there. So watch. And you're going to hold it. And then while you do that, what I want you to do is actually pull your shoulders back. I showed them just in the beginning 3 times, and pull them back again. See, this is one shoulder, but it's both shoulders. So you want to do them together, like this. Watch, like this on this camera. Let's see if we can get, there it is. So you can see that you're doing this, but you're actually pulling them together. So that you're doing them together. And you can be sitting like this, but you hold your breath and pull your shoulders up. So watch it. And you can do more one side, one the other, but watch it and smile. And while you do it, you go around 3 or 4 times one way and then the other way. But remember, the chest has to be up. And feel your shoulder blades meet in the back. Go smoothly. Do it 3 times each way. And then you say, I'm going to enter a conversation where I'm going to get a gift. Now, if somebody told you you're going to get a gift, do you think if you're under the Christmas tree or the Hanukkah bush and you were going to get a gift, you would just go, well, I'm just get a gift? You would go, I'm going to get a gift. So before I even open my mouth and ask for something, which is their time, I'm going to get a gift. So as you open up your chest wall and open up your breathing and hold your chest up, I'm going to get a gift. And therefore, I'm going to be in the space of receiving a gift before I even ask my words that I want them to hear. So you say to yourself, I'm going to get a gift. And the gift I'm getting is someone's time. And if this person, I think that they've gotten my communication before, this should go well. And what I want to say is your communication, you're ready for it. And then you go ahead and say the communication. And what he found was, especially with this one employee about 3 or 4 years ago, that every time he said something to her, she would go, sure. And then she would smile and she would pause. And I said, that's the next step. If someone says they'll give you the gift, then you pause to make sure that they said they're willing to give you the gift of their time, because it's the most valuable thing they have. And they're giving you that gift and they don't even know what you're going to say. Even if you're the boss, they don't have to listen. They can go work for somebody else. They don't have to work for you. There's a lot of jobs. They don't have to be an entrepreneurial teammate of you. They can go work for somebody else. So if you wanted to work for you, if you wanted to be your best buddy, then you want to make your contribution to them about your great idea that's going to be win-win for both of you. So this other person says, yeah, what is it? And I happened to be there with him when he practiced this technique and before he went in there and talked to her. And she says, what is it? And then he gave her the communication and she said, I've got that. I understand. And then she was actually able to repeat it and ask him a question about it, but in a way that you could tell that she actually heard what he said and she was going to do it. And he says, so can we have a by when you could do that? She said, yes. So after she left the room, he says, well, how do you think I'm doing? This seems like a different employee, because he wanted to hire her. And I said, listen, I don't care what position you put her in. You keep that girl forever, because that girl can listen. And a lady or a man who can listen, they can pull in the energy vibration of being there, to being in present time, that they're not already burnt out. They're not already whirling in their head of emotions and thoughts and feelings. They're not blocking you by going, I've been burned by so many conversations, I really don't want to hear what you have to say, or just whatever you're going to say, it's not going to be that big of a contribution. They're way past that. So I said, listen, if you don't hire her today, I'm going to hire her. He says, she's not even in your business. Why would you want to hire this lady? I go, that lady I could train to do anything, because she listens. And how do I know she listens? Because you took the time to create the space so that she could listen to you. And you did the spade work. And as an entrepreneur, that's all you've got to do to create your team. So if you do these energy practices multiple times a day, do them at home, practice your shoulders, going back forward, but keeping your chest up and letting your shoulder blades come together. And the only purpose of doing the elbows is you can learn to do a circle with each one, and you can do them together. But the important thing is, can you do them so that you're easily keeping your chest up, smiling, and saying, hey, I'm really clear that I'm going to give this person the humility experience, that I'm really thrilled that they're going to give me a gift, something I can't repay them necessarily unless they take the contribution, but they're giving me the gift of their trust and their free time that they can never get repaid on. Once the time's gone, it's gone. Your time is one of the most valuable things that you have, or your coworker has, or the person who's in a startup with you. Their time is irreplaceable. So if they're going to give you that gift in the get-go, then you have got to give them the space that I recognize what's happening. And if you do that, then they're going to listen to you. And this gentleman has now scaled, and he has other employees in so many different cities, and all of them form this network, this community of everybody that's thrilled to talk to each other, and they listen to each other. And they work together, and they actually create great plans, and they're accountable. Wouldn't you like to make your contribution to people and say, look, we've got this great plan, and we're going to scale this business. We're going to go up 10% this year, 20% next year. We're going to double in 3 years. And they're going to go, how? And they're going to listen to it. But it isn't something of obligation or leverage, or it's just going to be, you're going to make a certain amount of income. No, you're going to have lifestyle. You're going to have happiness. You're going to be in a network of people. And you're going to learn how to do these exercises so your kids will listen to you, so that your friends will listen to you, so your coworkers will. And yes, the way the story turns out, that not only this gentleman hired a number of other people like this one wonderful lady, but that she ended up training a lot of people in his first company to do all the same listening techniques that you're listening to and learning now. And they all come from Energy for Success programs that we've got, modules for you, that if you check out the website, you actually are going to find out that we've got guided visualization for you, other practices that will allow you to use in every area as an entrepreneur to scale your business and to be more successful, and really start to cash in on the fact that you are an intelligent person. You've got great ideas. You just need a team, but you can't make it without a team, and you can't get a team you can't fake it that other person is listening to you, because the proof is people don't listen. Proof is people can't follow your instructions. People can't even repeat them. But if you get their agreement that you know what's going on in the interaction, and you stay in the space of the energy and appreciation, and then when it's finished, the communication, that you actually say, hey, thanks for listening, thanks for your time, you've completed the idea of being in the energy and recognizing that other person gave you a gift the whole time. Not only the gift that they might do what you're asking them to do for both of you, but they came off with the trust in the beginning, which makes them very special, don't you think? So you're hiring a very special person. They're not just a dweeb. They're not just somebody you're pushing through. So what can you do? I would love for you to use the source energy practices that we have for you on the website. I would love for you to have your emotions be in a place where you're not anxious or feeling like you've got to yell at your coworkers or people that you want to create business with. Or if you're pitching someone, you'd like to make a ton of cash by having them invest in your company, you don't do it with a bunch of razzmatazz, because they've heard that before. But if you can actually pause after you've done this practice, where you actually are putting yourself in a place where, I'm in a place of appreciation. Why? Because I'm not faking it. I'm not pretending that I really care. I'm not pretending I actually do care, because that person's giving me a gift before they even give me the money for the pitch for my startup, or before they even decide to work for me for maybe a certain amount of income plus stock, or before they work for me for, a startup wage, and then later you're going to get a raise. All those things come from trust, and there's no trust. Look at all the research in almost all business relationships. So I welcome you to energyforsuccess.org. Please pass this video around to other people. Let them use this, and let's have a better world of all the entrepreneurial relationships. Let's have your company just zoom to the top, because everybody's your champion. You want fans, or you want co-workers, or you want people who actually recreate everything you're doing and then feed it back to you and appreciate what you're saying, the time that you're giving them and the time that they give you every time you have an interaction. Can you imagine what a love relationship that would be? And then you will have, like this gentleman I'm talking about, in less than 7 years, hundreds of millions of dollars in his business that keeps coming in, and there's no stopping. So I want to thank you for being with me today. We have other guided visualizations, other practices for you on the website. Please check us out. Please like us on Facebook. Please share this video. And it was great being with you today.